now tuned into DAR Sports Media, and we keep it rolling with the NFL offseason grades coming out this week. We're rolling with the AFC West. Ended up being suddenly very competitive with the Denver Broncos emerging last year, a team that I don't think a lot of people saw coming or thought was going to be one of the better teams in the league. They turned out to be making the playoffs. Bo Nix, big time leap into the upper echelon of quarterbacks. I don't think anybody saw that coming and that fast. Of course, the Chiefs dominant as usual, although not on the scoreboard in the win column that they were. We saw what happened to them in the Super Bowl. Did they improve? The Raiders with some interesting, kind of questionable stuff. I'm interested in some of the grades the Chargers have been getting too. I think teams were a little some places were a little bit too heavy-handed on grading them, but I guess we'll see. Tay, who had your number one offseason in the AFC West?
The Raiders. The Raiders.
Number one. You got to it number one.
Yeah, definitely. They went from complete trash to they might actually do something. When you look at the roster from last year to this year, I mean, they got a complete upgrade.
I know why you're going to say this.
I'll get to the man of the hour in 1 second. They got Geno Smith. They upgraded there. They added Jack Beck. They upgraded at receiver.
Yeah.
They had Brock Bowers from last year. Great addition. And the man of the hour. They got Ashton Genty.
Yeah. Even though they took him at number 6, could have got many other running backs later on in the draft.
Excellent. Like when you're bad, you just gotta find that superstar. And you know what? At least they do have a hey.
What do I always say? Right? I would be going against myself here if I did not give a little bit of props. Give yourself a fucking identity. And between Pete Carroll bringing in Pete Carroll as head coach, remember, because that's part of our grading here is the coach moves too. Bring in Pete Carroll as head coach, Chip Kelly an offensive coordinator, and now you got Ashton Genty in the backfield, along with Raheem Mostert, by the way, in a backup role, in an RB2 role. They are going to have an identity. That's for goddamn sure coming up this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love it. They also got Commanders legend, Jeremy Chin.
Yep.
They stole him.
Chin check. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you guys only had him on a 1-year deal, man. He was a monster down in Carolina.
Yeah. But so I really like the Raiders got way better, specifically on offense. Like they had Aiden O'Connell out there. I mean, they ran through so many running backs. They had Alexander Madison. No, they had Sincere McCormick. No, like they literally needed everything on offense, and they improved. They hit every position they needed.
The Genty thing is funny to me. It reminds me of a Family Guy. Ashton Genty could be anything. He could even be as good as Josh Jacobs. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I mean, hey, it is what it is. It's not this brain trust that did it. Okay, the Raiders for Tay. So, like I said earlier, I'm not really sure why the Chargers are getting so much heat. I really like what they did. Continuing strength on strength on strength. Brought in Mekhi Becton. You want to talk about it's about to be identity season. Oh, boy. The offensive line this team already had. And then they upgraded at guard and at center, bringing in Mekhi Becton and Bradley Bozeman. That right side of that offensive line is going to have 6'8", 350 Mekhi Becton and 6'9" Joe Alt at right tackle. And they drafted what some people thought possibly was the most talented back in the class, Omarion Hampton, with Jim Harbaugh calling the play. With Jim Harbaugh as the coach, Greg Roman calling the plays. You better buckle up that fucking chin strap. You better have the cold tubs ready for guys after they come to play the LA Chargers, that might be, we'd have to look it up. I mean, we played a lot more big boy football, in the mid to late 90s. That has to be one of the biggest right sides of the line ever between the size both Alt and Mekhi Becton have. Amazing stuff. They already had a good offensive line. Have invested in it heavily. Bringing on Zion Johnson, and then left tackle Rashawn Slater, Bradley Bozeman at center, and now Becton to pair with Alt. One of the biggest, nastiest, best offensive lines in the league. They also drafted a receiver trying to bring up that group with Trey Harris. Najee Harris also in an RB2 role, going to be out there. Again, you want to talk about a fucking identity. Najee Harris, Marion Hampton behind that incredibly huge, talented offensive line, giving Herbert time to throw. I everywhere I'm seeing they're ranked low as far as what they did. I love what the Chargers did. What are your thoughts on the Chargers offseason?
I'll start off with your previous O-line statement. Well, you got to think most teams can't even do 6'8" everywhere. You got to think Herbert's 6'6". Not a lot of quarterbacks are just gonna see over.
I'm about to say, the 49ers couldn't have that offensive line.
Exactly, and that's why they had the tallest quarterback in the league. So I mean, they can they can do that. So I mean, they're taking a complete advantage, and they're not limited to anything. Like the Cardinals, there's no way they could do that.
Yeah,
they just won't be able to see. But the Chargers have unlimited. They can get literally anyone because Herbert's 6'6", So that's pretty cool on that. So yeah, they'll be able to get whatever lineman they want. And their line is elite, like top 3, in my opinion. And Hampton, that was just a great pick. I mean, it just fit their identity. Like we already like if you were watching the draft and once it was their pick, like everyone knew he was going there. Yeah, like that was obvious. That was so like hard. That was a hardball pick. I mean, and then they got Najee Harris just for like security. Well, they got him first, but they got like double running backs in a way, like kind of like with a similar play style, kind of like yeah, they definitely improved in that aspect, but I don't know. I think they should have tried harder in receiver. I mean, they did a little something, but they got to stop with the little something. Because we've seen this recently. The Chargers, the receiver deficiencies show up in the playoffs every time. When they played Jacksonville, second half, it just wasn't there for them. They couldn't run the ball. The receivers just weren't talented enough. And then when they played the Texans last year, receivers weren't getting open. Herbert has to throw these tight window passes. And I mean, playoff time, it's not going to work. That's why he threw 4 picks. So I think they're a little limited there. I would have liked to see, like, Trey Harris was fine, but like, why are we bringing Mike Williams back? Like, come on. Like, I don't know. I just wanted to see more there. Like, I think they did a little too much for the run game in a way. Like, instead of Najee, like, let's get a receiver here. That's how I feel about it. They went a little too hard for the run game.
I just don't know. I just don't know how many impact receivers there was in the free agency class. Is the thing.
Well, yeah.
You think old Mr. Pink stuff, Stephon Diggs is walking through the fucking door with Jim Harbaugh.
I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure they could have got him if they tried. Like the Chargers need to, like, why does every other quarterback gets their receiver? I love Ladd McConkey, but they need someone better than him.
They need a legit X.
They need someone like Ladd. It will always be open in the slot. It will always be open, but they need that guy. They need someone better than him, and the Chargers are ready.
I got some news for you. When Harbaugh was with the Niners, he's building this team the exact same way that those Niners teams were built. And guess what? They never had that guy. So
That's true.
Maybe it's a little look into the future. I like it. You know what's funny is I'm seeing these places. They're ranked last. Like I have Denver ahead of them, but it's just I just want to talk about it now because I'm so tickled by it. Because I'm seeing all these places rank the Chiefs, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like what key additions? Gardner Minshew. That's your fucking key addition? What are you what? Gardner Minshew, Christian Fulton, Jalen Moore from the 49ers. That's who you're taking to war with you? Colton McKivitt's backup? Look, man, Jalen Moore was fine last year when he got to play, but they're paying him and touting him like he's going to be a guy, like he's going to contribute. I got news for you. I'm going to keep it to myself because I'm going to enjoy watching the Chiefs find out by themselves just what happened. You know what's funny is 49ers fans, we wanted the guy, Kings Sumiata, who the Chiefs drafted, to beat out the dude who Jalen Moore could not beat out. And he's on the Chiefs. So they got Jalen Moore. So that just shows you where Jalen Moore stands in the world. But hey, I'm looking forward to them fighting out on their own. Josh Simmons, I mean, being that it's the Chiefs, it probably will work out, but it's a huge risk drafting Josh Simmons. He was probably, if not for the catastrophic injury,
the best lineman in the draft.
Yeah, he would have been the best lineman in the draft.
Yeah.
So it is a risk. I'm guessing because it's the Chiefs and fucking everything works out for the goddamn Chiefs. I'm going to just assume that he's going to be healthy and be a top 5 left tackle in the league. So maybe that works out. But I don't think it's going to – I mean, you're laughing, but am I not fucking – is it not true? I don't know what the fuck. That gift that goes around with the fucking witches circling the fucking fire. That's the fucking Chiefs, man. But not this year. So we're going to have to find out about that. What do you think about the Chiefs, man? I think this is dog shit. It's what I have said in the past. I don't see any way that they got, our ultimate fear was that they were going to end up with Travion Henderson or one of the big explosive playmaker running backs from this class. And they did not do that at all. So, and I don't really see anything here that improves any of their shortcomings that showed themselves last year.
The Chiefs, they had a plan this year. The Chiefs weren't going for big names. I feel like they have enough. The Chiefs were going for like specific specialized role players. Like they were going for guys like that. Okay, like for example, Rashard Smith from SMU. The running back. He had the most receiving yards in college football. Yeah. I think that was like, okay, they're gonna put him in. They like those guys. You remember Jerick McKinnon? 49ers legend.
Absolutely, yeah.
So they're gonna they like that stuff, and I think he'll fit in for that. That's why they drafted him. Jalen Royals was like a depth piece, like just they're gonna try to implement him because their receivers aren't scary. So I mean, why not? They should draft the receiver every year.
Yeah, you want to talk about a team that should have improved at receiver and didn't really do anything.
Yeah. I mean, I guess
are we really believing in Rasheed Rice off the fucking knee injury like that?
I don't know. That's the thing. I think they like Worthy. It's his second year. Worthy's all right. They got Jalen Royals, Hollywood. He's washed. So I mean. They got a lot of role players. Like I love the Josh Simmons pick. O-line was kind of an issue for them. They've been looking for a left tackle for forever. Maybe this is the guy, but it's been a while. It's just been something they've been trying to recycle them, but they never truly found the franchise guy. They got Omar Norman Lott from Tennessee. He's like big D tackle, like put him in third downs. Like they just got a ton of like role players, like for specific, times of the game. They re-signed Nick Bolton, Travis Kelce's back. They just did like little stuff like that. No big moves at all. They got Jeffrey Bassa out of Oregon at linebacker. just depth and stuff like that. That's really how I viewed it. And that's why you saw Gardner Minshew was a good, addition, because that was kind of the story of their offseason. They didn't really, go get a big name. They just got like role players and stuff, which is, I mean, hey, they were in the Super Bowl, so I mean, they know what they're doing. So
Denver Broncos. Now, I feel like this is kind of a purists thing because it wasn't one of the sexier names, but they drafted RJ Harvey for one of the biggest shortcomings of their offense is running back. They drafted RJ Harvey, 7 yards a carry, 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns at UCF. Isn't a physically massive man, but 4.4 flat, packs plenty a punch. And I love the guy that they got last year, being a guy who digs some Notre Dame football, Audric Estime. I love his style for an NFL system. I don't know if necessarily Sean Payton's system is the one I love him for, but I love Audric Estime. I love the draft pick of RJ Harvey. So I think there's not a big name that they threw in there to try and solve that running back issue, but I think they might have solved it anyways. And those names will be known to people as the season goes on. I do believe. Other notable pickups for this team on the rise. Their first round pick, Jahdae Barron, one of the better corners. They have incredible corner tandem now if Jahdae Barron ends up working out for them. And of course, I think what a lot of people, and I want to be kind, man, because a lot of people probably are interested in what I feel about the two 49ers defenders that they added. Fonga, that's fine. He can go. And I think the Broncos are going to might ask for their money back on that one from what I've seen the last couple of years. But we'll see. Dre Greenlaw. I want to say right now that I will go to my grave remembering the stop he made against Seattle that gave us the number 1 seed on the Super Bowl year. I love me some Dre Greenlaw, one of my favorite NFL players, one of my favorite 49ers. It looked like his health situation was still not good last year. And he was not in particularly fast or explosive player anyways. So glad he got paid. I'm grateful. I'm all right with it. And I you know what? And this is not me hating. I hope he does great. I hope he recovers. I hope he's fucking awesome. I kind of dig the Broncos. I like the people in their fan base. I got a lot of good friends in their fan base. They're a fun team. I'd fucking much rather them be one of the top teams in the NFL than some of the other teams that currently are in fan bases I have to interact with. But I don't know. I don't know if they're getting all pro Dre Greenlaw from 2 years ago. I'll just say it. I'll just put it like that. I hope they are. I hope that they are. What do you think? Oh, and also, by the way, like, good pickup. You need an alpha. You need to add more captains. Like, this is how you take teams to the next level. If he is the guy that he was, that's exactly the type of player that you bring in to continue to build your culture. Hey, we're a playoff team now. We're aggressive. This is one of the guys we want out here laying the wood. Like, it's a sensible pickup. I don't know if he's going to be the same guy ever again, but I hope it works out. What'd you think of the Broncos offseason?
I really like the Broncos offseason. I mean, they did everything they needed to do. Honestly, some more important than others, but I think Sean Payton did get his running back. Sean Payton has always been the guy that likes 2 running backs. He likes the receiving back. He likes the big power back, Ingram and AK. He likes that. And I think that's that. RJ Harvey, he should get the ball for the most part. And we'll see some RJ Estime, So I love it. I mean, it's an upgrade from Javonte Williams. He just didn't come back from that injury. That's the Javonte Williams story. He just didn't come back from it. Bo Nix, I think he'll have another great season. They drafted Pat Bryant. They definitely needed receiver help. Cortland Sutton. Yeah. Cortland Sutton's okay. Marvin Mims had a great end to the year, but it just never truly, they don't scare you.
You would
You know,
like
they
them to
drafted,
pack a little more punch in the receiver room with
yeah,
Bo Nix on the up and up. Yeah.
yeah. You know, they had Troy Franklin, you know, Bo Nix teammate. Yeah. So I mean, they upgraded there in a way. Evan Ingram, I think his best years are behind him, but it's better than what they had.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, they cut Greg Dulcich. It was second round pick a couple years ago. They cut him in the middle of the season. So yeah, I think
Which
the
is wild
offense.
to me. I love Greg Dulcich. I'm surprised the Raiders haven't picked him up to be the second tight end. He played for Chip at UCLA, and he was a fucking
Yeah,
bad boy.
yeah. I mean, they don't need him. But yeah, defensive side of the ball. Broncos had a really feisty defense last year. I mean, the Broncos defense has been good for a couple of years. Even when they were bad, they were still playing. Like when they had Russell Wilson, they were still playing good defense. I mean, they got the best corner in the league. They got they drafted Jahdae Barron. He'll probably play nickel. And you know, I think they'll keep Riley Moss, the first white corner since the 2000s. They'll keep him outside this year. I love it.
Locking it down.
Yeah. Brandon Jones.
Riley Moss was good. People are laughing.
He was good.
Yes.
He was. That's why he's staying outside. Yeah. Brandon Jones, he's returning. Talanoa Hufanga. I'm not mad at it. You know, why not? I'm not mad at it. Just trying to see what they can get. Like that was a nice flyer signing. Like he could be really good for them, or he could be a non-factor. You know, who knows? But you know that I wasn't too worried about that. The Dre Greenlaw thing, it's a same kind of thing. Same kind of thing. Like who knows? They could get the best Dre Greenlaw of his career. Who knows? Yeah, so I mean, and then they got him from, you know, like championship DNA kind of team.
Yeah.
I see what they're
absolutely
doing. Yeah. I see what they were doing there. So I'm not mad at it. Their D line was really good last year. So I like the Broncos. The Broncos should easily go back to the playoffs. Now, honestly, I don't think they win the division. They probably won't win the division for the next like 5 years.
They got to upgrade the receiver. Either upgrade the receiver or those receivers got to develop, right? Because you said Marvin Mims came on, they added Pat Bryant. Maybe all those guys become, you know, nice this year, and then we go into next year with these guys looking like they're the real deal. But I think that's be the last step for them. You got to add some firepower. You got all the firepower you could ever ask for here on DAR Sports Media. We will have an NBA Finals Hoops Hour coming up sooner than later. Be on the lookout for that. And, of course, the NFL offseason grading continues. Me and Tay also look earlier on in this week. If you are into video games, football video games, me and Tay did a little review of the new college football EA Sports 26 trailer that dropped there on this week, and all the new information that we have about the game and about the upcoming features. So check that out. Nice little discussion on sports games, the new college football game. We're both huge college football 25 players, so very excited for that. All that and more. Of course, check the Medium site. Check out what True is doing on Pro Football Network. All that and more. And that's because the world of DAR never stops.